Here's one of the most important things you should do as a business leader: identify process inefficiencies. No matter how incredible your product and team are, without effective processes, you're leaving so much impact and profitability on the table. At the same time, inefficiencies compounded over time might end up literally hindering your whole company. And that's why in today's video, we will share with you a simple 4-way approach to identify business process inefficiencies. I am Alessandro Carpentiero.
And I am Linda Granfors. We at Beyond Sapiens use productivity to maximize your business potential.
In business, it's easy to get lost in the day-to-day operations. After all, there is so much that needs to happen to maintain the company's momentum. But from the micro level, you can only identify micro issues. So to identify key blockers that are hindering your company's growth, it's important to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. A good starting point is to map out the business model and the key processes that happen within and between different business units. This can help you identify areas where processes are not working optimally and are causing delays, errors, or other issues that affect the business's overall performance. There might be several non-ideal processes, but you should identify the one that is leading to the most significant waste of time, resources, and money. That's because by fixing the weakest link, you will strengthen the whole business.
When you have identified a potentially inefficient business process, it's crucial to understand the root cause of the issue. To do so, you need to map out the process on paper to better understand it and then see how it works in practice. This implies analyzing each process phase and the resources required, such as workload, time, and money, and then examining the outcomes. You can do this in Excel, in software, through a mind map program, or however is best for your workflow. Just make sure you categorize the phases and list the inputs and outputs of the process. This will help you break it down into smaller chunks, making it easier for you to find potential bottlenecks. When you have an idea of where the process might be lacking, you should see how it works in practice and understand if there is something you overlooked when going through it on paper. Analyzing the process live by observing how people execute what you've studied will give you more details and either strengthen or weaken your hypothesis of the identified inefficiencies.
Now that you have identified the potential root cause of the weakest business process, it is time to gather and analyze data. This allows you to have quantitative measurements of the business process you are investigating, providing you with an accurate snapshot of the metrics involved. It can also help you shed light on underlying relationships between different metrics. For example, for a customer experience department, two important metrics could be the response time and the percentage of happy customer ratings. While gathering both data, you might spot a correlation between the two, such as a very low response time, something usually associated with great performance, to a low percentage of happy ratings. This might be underlying an excessive focus on time efficiencies, where quality might take a hit, and it would provide you with insights on how to proceed. Talking of which, the gathered data will also serve you later on. In fact, after deploying a possible solution to the identify process issue, you can use the initial metrics as a benchmark to understand how effective your solution might be. After all, data never lies. So to truly understand if and by how much you have improved the process, you need to measure it.
Now that you recognize the weakest process, the core issue of it, and analyze the key metrics to strengthen your hypothesis, it is time for the final step. Gather qualitative data by asking for feedback from people who work with the process. As Alessandro said, data provides valuable insights and never lies, except if it fails to capture the whole picture. What I mean by this is that business processes are complex and include human aspects and communication that data can't always capture. So this stage is all about validating whether your analysis and data are accurate and comprehensive, or if you missed something important. You will already have a holistic understanding and a clear picture of the potential bottleneck, so it will be easier for you to ask people how they feel about your findings. You may be surprised how often this phase uplifts details and correlations you may have overlooked, which is good, because it will enable you to strengthen your image of the inefficiency, validate the accuracy of your data, and ensure that you address the root cause.
At this point, you will have all you need to create a plan of action to address the most ineffective process, helping you create a better functioning business. Remember, identifying and addressing process inefficiencies is an ongoing process that requires constant attention and improvement, so make sure you create internal practices to make this a recurring activity. Talking of which, we would love to help optimize your processes with our free productivity assessment. You can find all the details in the description.
And if you want to expand your knowledge and achieve ultimate productivity in your business, please subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss our weekly research-based videos. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next week.